So I've had a lot of comments on Twitter and on YouTube saying that people really appreciate the production quality of these videos, and I'm really appreciative of people saying that because I put in a lot of hard work. And so I thought I'd do a little video to explain at least what my process is and what I use to make the videos, but it also lets me talk a little bit about storytelling. You see, every video that I make has at least a little bit of a story in it, whether it's the technology that I'm using or the little silly stuff I put on the front. It's my way of injecting a little bit of personality and a little bit of something in there, and that matters to me. That's the kind of stuff I care about. Sometimes that's not easy either because there's nuance and you want to tell a complete story, but really you don't want to spend an hour doing it or even half an hour doing it. And code itself, if I'm doing a coding video, sometimes, you know, there's just a lot of typing and there's a lot to get out there. In theory, once I have a thing that I want to talk about, it's really a case of sitting down with the camera and trying to put it together. In terms of the setup that I currently have, it's a Canon EOS 700D, and I'm using a 24mm lens on the front of that, which gives me a slightly wider angle. Now, one little note on the video profiling side of things is that I record in as flat a profile as I can. More expensive Canon, Nikon, just all the more expensive cameras have a thing called log format, which is this super flat profile, and that lets you keep the saturation and the dynamic range acceptable, so that in post, when you're doing a thing called color grading, which is where you do all the saturation and setting all the colors for the video, you can really pump it up and make it look really crisp and nice. Unfortunately, as I say, that's for the top-end cameras, and I don't have a top-end camera. I have a DSLR that my brother lent me, funnily enough, and that's what I do. I take the color profile down to as flat a profile as I can get it to go, and then I've got a little bit more room for maneuver when I get into the software. I also have a Rode mic on top, but typically I actually use the Blue Yeti that I've had for quite a few years now. Now, in terms of the software itself, I'm using DaVinci Resolve, which is an editor and a color grading piece of software, which I'll link below. And I use the QuickTime player just to do the screen capturing, and that's about the size of it. There's an actual helicopter going over the head. Well, I mean, overhead, I mean, vlogging is hard, you know? Not that this is really a vlog. Might be a vlog. Is it a vlog? You tell me, I don't know. Some people ask about the music that I'm using, and that's provided by Epidemic Sound. I use their YouTube creator subscription, which is, in the UK, it's about £10 a month, and you get access to all their sounds and all their music. And so, combined with all the other stuff I've got, I know what story I want to tell. I've done the video capture, the audio capture, and the screen capture, and I've got music ready to go and sound effects. So now it's a case of going to the software. So now we are back in the study. I mean, you'll recognize this is the picture here, the Mars picture and the base. And I do, at some point, I'm thinking I might switch the Mars picture for Enceladus. Do you think I should do that? I've got another picture that I could switch it for. You let me know in the comments. You can shout this one. You get to decide whether it stays or gets replaced. Anyway, so after that, it's a case of firing up the Mac here and getting to the whole editing process. Okay, let me place that down here. So now that the camera is back on its tripod, there we are, and we can talk about editing. So yeah, let's talk about that.
In here you can see it's just basically going through the software, putting in the audio, the intro, kind of usual stuff that you'd find with an editor, screen capture over the top, audio at the bottom. Eventually I get somewhere where I've got something that I'm happy with. I go through all the clips themselves and I do some color grading, which in this case is actually currently looks quite simple because of the fact that this is being collapsed down into a single timeline. I'm not going to do a DaVinci tutorial. There's loads of them, some amazing ones actually on YouTube. So check those out if you're interested. And then at the end of the process, it's a case of exporting it out for YouTube. There's a special option for that in DaVinci. Hit the export, upload to YouTube, add some tags and a description and a thumbnail. I normally take the thumbnail as well and do that separately with the camera, just as and when I have time, and then publish. And I seem to be adopting a fairly chaotic neutral vibe on the whole when to publish thing. Right, that is all I've got time for today. So basically, in summary, it's pick a story or a thing to say. It's then plan it out a little bit, do the shots with the various bits of software, plug it all into something like DaVinci or Premiere. There's also another great option, Final Cut as well. They're all really excellent bits of software. And then hit the big export button. And it's just, sometimes it's just a bit of time to kind of go through, slice and dice, and just try and get it just as I like it. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, like all the other ones, hit the big thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you lovely folk as always. You thought I was going to leave you hanging, didn't you? Eh? No, I would never do that. On the flip side.